Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another wonderful episode of the Wonders of Science with Mr. Whybrew. This is episode 34, and we're going to answer the question, what is Proxima Centauri? Anybody know? Anybody ever heard of Proxima Centauri? Anybody? Anyone? 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 Alright, let me tell you what Proxima Centauri is. Proxima Centauri is a star, in particular a flare star. And you're probably wondering, what's a flare star? Well, a flare star is a variable star that can undergo unpredictable dramatic increases in brightness for a few minutes. In other words, it kind of have these bursts, and they're unpredictable. In other words, they can just happen like, oh, okay. Now, in addition to it being a flare star, it's also categorized as a red dwarf star, which is part of the main sequence of stars. So let me explain those terms, especially if you're not familiar with astronomy. A red dwarf is the smallest and coolest kind of star on the main sequence. Red dwarfs are by far the most common type of star that's in the Milky Way galaxy, the galaxy we're a part of, and at least in the neighborhood of the Sun, but because of their low luminosity, in other words, their low brightness, individual red dwarfs cannot be easily observed because think about it, compared to the Sun, they're not quite as bright in comparison. Now let's talk about that term, the main sequence. Well, in astronomy, the main sequence is a continuous and distinctive band of stars that appear on plots of stellar color versus brightness. Now these color magnitude plots are on this diagram, which is called the Hertzsprung-Russell diagram, which is named after the co-developers, Ijnar Hertzsprung and Henry Norris Russell, just in case anybody may have heard those terms, or I know you probably will eventually hear those terms, especially if you're moving into high school science. I believe you might even hear some mention of it even in middle school science as well. Now, besides it being a flare star, it being a red dwarf star that's on the main sequence of stars, it's also part of a constellation, and the constellation is Centaurus. So its name, Proxima Centauri, which is a Latin name, means the nearest star of Centaurus. Pretty cool to think about. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this fun science fact of the day is pretty out of this world, trust me, and it was really groundbreaking, you could say. We'll get to that in just a moment. Alright, here it is. The largest meteorite crater in the world is in Winslow, Arizona. Yes, our state, for those of us who live in Arizona, are home to the largest meteor crater in the world, and that's in, like I said, Winslow, Arizona. It is, get this, 4,150 feet across and 150 feet deep. Wow, that's pretty cool. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this has been once again another enjoyable episode of the Wonders of Science with Mr. Whybrew. Look for the question at the end. Have a nice day. Take care. Goodbye.